Every morning, I'd swing my legs off the bed and wince, not from injury, but from a slow, creeping stiffness that made me feel twice my age. I used to think it was just part of getting older, but what if I told you that 5 quiet minutes each morning could change how your entire day feels? If your legs feel like cement blocks when you wake up, this might be exactly what you need. You're not the only one who wakes up and feels like your legs forgot how to bend. That first moment, you shift under the covers, plant your feet on the floor, and pause, because you already know what's coming. It's that sharp tug behind the knees, that dull pressure in the thighs, and that strange, rusty feeling in your hips, like something's been locked up overnight and no one left a key. You sit there for a moment, rubbing your knees, wiggling your toes, maybe whispering something under your breath like, "Man, what did I do in my sleep or a marathon?" But you didn't. You just slept, and that's exactly the problem. As we get older, something subtle starts to happen. The muscles that once carried you upstairs 2 at a time will let you jump out of a chair without thinking. They start holding tension overnight. And if they're not stretched, moved, or activated first thing in the morning, they stay locked. So every step becomes a negotiation. Now, add in the years of sitting through meetings, long car rides, watching grandkid soccer games, or just resting after a long day, and your body begins to learn stiffness. It becomes your default setting, until one day, you start saying things like, "It just takes me a while to get going in the morning," and worse, you start believing that's how it has to be. But here's what most people don't realize. This stiffness isn't just the cost of aging. It's the cost of ignoring your legs when they whisper. And the good news? They don't need much. 5 minutes. That's it. 5 quiet, deliberate, focused minutes to unlock muscles that have been waiting all night for a signal that it's safe to move. Because when you show your body even a small dose of care, especially in the morning, it responds. And not just in your legs. You'll feel it in your mood, your energy, even your posture as you pour that first cup of coffee. This isn't about exercise. It's about reclaiming mobility, dignity, confidence, one morning at a time. What 5 minutes can really do. Now, let's talk about those 5 minutes. The kind of minutes that don't feel like much until you realize what they're worth. 5 minutes may not sound like a big deal, but 5 minutes is the difference between groaning when you stand and standing with quiet confidence. 5 minutes is the difference between walking like you're carrying bricks in your knees and walking like you still have somewhere to be. Most people give those 5 minutes away to the snooze button, to their phones, to staring out the window, try to convince themselves to move. But what if you gave those minutes to yourself? Not to exercise, but to restore what stiffness tries to steal, freedom. Because here's the truth. Stiffness in your legs isn't a punishment. It's a response to stillness, to neglect, to decades of serving everyone but yourself. When you wake up, your body isn't asking for miracles. It's asking for movement, for blood flow, for rhythm, for a signal that the day has begun, and you're still in it. Think of it this way. If you had a garden hose that sat all night in the cold, would you turn it on full blast and expect it to flow perfectly? Or would you let the water move through slowly, give it a chance to warm up and unwind? Your legs work the same way. And 5 minutes is enough to open a valve. No gym, no sweat, just a small, quiet rebellion against stiffness. A way to say, not today. And when you begin your day that way, with care, not urgency, your body responds. Your mood softens, your confidence lifts. You stop feeling like a burden to yourself and start feeling like someone worth investing in. Let me tell you about someone named Irene. She's 74, widowed 5 years ago, and every morning she used to sit on the edge of her bed, staring at her slippers like they were 10 feet away. She wasn't in pain, exactly, just stuck. Her legs felt heavy, her knees popped, her hips groaned. Getting to the bathroom felt like a chore, not a routine. And slowly, that stiffness started shaping her day. She stopped going to the corner store, stopped walking the loop around her block, stopped saying yes when her daughter asked if she wanted to come along to the market. One morning, after a particularly rough night, she said out loud, to no one in particular, "I just want to feel like myself again." That's when she tried something different. She didn't overhaul her life. She didn't buy new shoes or join a gym. She just gave herself 5 quiet minutes each morning, a few gentle movements, a few slow breaths, some encouragement whispered under her breath like a prayer. Let's loosen up just a little. And after a few days, she wasn't sprinting, but she wasn't stuck either. She moved easier. She stood taller. She even surprised herself by walking a little farther than usual one afternoon, just because it felt good. That's the power of 5 minutes. It's not about becoming a different person. It's about reconnecting with the one who's still in there, waiting to move, stretch, and start the day with intention. Now, take Frank. He's 69, retired carpenter, still wears his flannel shirts, still keeps his tools polished. But these days, the hardest thing to fix is himself. Frank always prided himself on pushing through. A little stiffness, he'd just grunt and move on. That was his way. But over the years, those small aches turned into hesitation. He started using the railing more, started declining invitations to go fishing, because getting in and out of the boat felt like too much work. One morning, while tying his shoes, or trying to, he lost balance and had to sit down hard on the edge of the bed. He didn't fall, but it shook him. That same week, his neighbor casually mentioned a 5-minute stretch thing he'd started doing every morning. Frank rolled his eyes, but something about it stuck. The next morning, Frank gave a shot. No yoga mats, no mirrors, just him, standing beside the bed, easing into a few simple movements. After a week, he was standing longer. After a month, he was walking around the lake again. Not fast, not fancy, but he was moving with steadiness, not stiffness. And most importantly, he wasn't bracing for pain every time he got out of the chair. These stories aren't miracles. They're reminders that change doesn't always begin with medicine. Sometimes it begins with attention, a quiet moment, a small choice, 5 minutes that say, I'm still here, I still matter, and I want to feel alive today. Now meet Laura. She's 42, busy life, 2 kids, a full-time job. But every morning before work, she checks in on her dad, Richard, 78, widowed, stubborn, and fiercely independent. He never wanted help. But Laura noticed something quietly shifting. He moved slower. He winced getting into the car. And one day, as she watched him try to get up from the couch, she saw it, not just pain, but frustration, like he was losing a fight with his own legs. That night, she gently said, Dad, what if we tried something small? Just 5 minutes in the morning. You don't even have to leave the bedroom. He rolled his eyes, of course. But the next morning, she showed up early, just to guide him through a few standing movements. She made a habit, and after a week, he started doing it himself. He still pretends it's no big deal. But Laura sees it, the faster pace around the store, the way he jokes about training for a marathon when he climbs stairs. What changed? Not his age, not his meds, just 5 minutes, and the willingness to say yes to them. These aren't just stories. They're proof that even if you're stiff, even if you're stubborn, even if you waited too long, 5 minutes still matter. And now that you're here, let me show you what they can look like. And then there's Marvin, age 81, lives alone in a quiet apartment with too many books and not enough visitors. Last winter, he slipped on the back steps and fractured his hip. The surgery went well. The rehab? Not so much. What bothered Marvin most wasn't the walker or the pain meds. It was the feeling that his body had betrayed him, that he couldn't trust his own legs anymore, that the man who once danced at every wedding now needed to hold the wall just to get the fridge. The physical therapist gave him exercises, but what really made the difference was what Marvin started doing after the exercises stopped, when no one was watching. Each morning, he gave himself 5 quiet minutes, just him. No one pushing, no one correcting, just slow, steady movements, legs, hips, ankles, a few deep breaths, a little grace. Months later, Marvin doesn't need the walker anymore. He still moves cautiously, sure, but now he moves, not out of fear, but with quiet determination. And every morning, as the sun hits the living room window, he whispers the same thing before he begins. I'm still here. Let's keep going. These stories are real in spirit, maybe even real in name. But one thing for sure, someone out there is feeling stiff, tired, and quietly discouraged. And 5 minutes might just be their turning point. Maybe that someone is you. So let's begin the 5-minute morning leg routine. Let's begin. You don't need to lie down. You don't need fancy clothes. Just stand next to your bed, barefoot if possible. Feel the floor under you. Take a breath. Let your arms hang by your sides. Now slowly, gently, roll your shoulders back. not for your legs, but for your mind. Let the tension start to lift. Step 1, calf pump and toe rock. Start by rocking forward onto your toes, then back to your heels. Do this 10 times, slowly. This tells your calves, ankles, and feet, we're waking up. Feel the blood move. You might hear a pop or two. That's okay. Just keep breathing. Step 2, march in place slowly. Now bring one knee up just a little, then the other. No rush, just marching in place like you're walking through a dream. Do this for about 30 seconds. Let your hips loosen. Let your thighs remember their rhythm. You're not working out, you're reconnecting. Step 3, supported leg swings. Hold onto the wall, bedpost, or chair. Let one leg swing gently forward and back, like a pendulum. Not big, just loose. 10 swings on each side. Feel your hip open. Feel your balance returning. Say to yourself, I'm not stuck. I'm just warming up. Step 4, standing hamstring stretch. Now straighten one leg out in front of you. Heel on the floor. Bend the opposite knee slightly. Hinge forward from the hips. You should feel a gentle stretch in the back of your thigh. Hold for 10 to 15 seconds. Switch sides. This is where stiffness hides. Give it space to leave. Step 5, gentle knee circles. Feet together. Knees slightly bent. Place your hands on your thighs and slowly draw small circles with your knees. 5 clockwise, 5 counterclockwise. This isn't about bending. It's about telling your joints you're safe here. Now pause. Stand tall. Take one full breath in through your nose and exhale slowly through your mouth. Check in. Do you feel a little more alive? A little more steady? That's all this was meant to do. This was your 5 minutes. Not a fix, but a beginning. A reminder that even if your legs feel stiff every morning, they're still yours, and you still have the power to move through the day, one step at a time. If standing feels too difficult today, or your balance isn't quite where you want to be, that's okay. You can do almost every movement from a chair and still feel the benefits. Instead of toe rocks, sit tall, feet flat. Lift your toes while keeping your heels on the ground. Then press the toes down and lift the heels. Do this slowly for 10 reps. It activates the same muscles in the calves and ankles, and it tells your lower legs, we're not frozen, we're just getting started. Instead of marching in place. While seated, raise one knee a few inches, then lower it. Alternate slowly, as if your legs are remembering how to walk again. This helps wake up the hip flexors and thighs without the pressure of standing. Instead of leg swings, straighten one leg in front of you from the chair, then bend it back down. Alternate sides. Visualize the leg swinging, even though it's lifting forward. The signal to your hip and thigh is the same. It's safe to move. Instead of standing hamstring stretch, sit near the edge of the chair. Extend one leg straight out, heel on the floor. Gently lean forward, keeping your back straight. Feel that stretch behind the thigh. No rush, no force, just awareness. Instead of knee circles, keep both feet flat, knees bent. Place your hands just above your knees. Slowly draw small circles with your knees. Right, then left. You'll feel a gentle massage of the knee joint. And a quiet reminder that movement doesn't have to be big to be powerful. If you're doing this from a chair, don't feel like you're doing less. You're doing what your body needs, and that is always enough. Stiffness responds to care, not ego. And showing up today, even from a chair, is a declaration that you haven't given up. Before we close, there's something important I want you to remember. If today's routine felt stiff, awkward, maybe even frustrating, that's okay. You're not failing. You're beginning. Progress doesn't come from doing it perfectly. It comes from doing it again. 5 minutes tomorrow, 5 minutes the next day. And slowly, your legs will remember what they were made for. You won't notice it all at once, but one day you'll walk across the room and realize you didn't brace the chair. You didn't flinch. You just moved like you used to. That's the real goal here. Not youth, not speed, just strength, steadiness, and the quiet kind of confidence that says, I trust my legs again. So come back to this routine, even on the days you don't feel like it, especially on those days, because that's when 5 minutes matter most. So here's the real question. Not can you move, but what would change if you did? What if 5 minutes each morning gave you back the afternoon walk you used to love? What if it let you say yes more to outings, to visitors, to life? What if you stopped assuming stiffness was your new normal? and started seeing it as your body's way of asking for care, the answers don't come all at once, but they do come, sometimes with a stretch, sometimes with a breath, sometimes with the simple decision to try again tomorrow. Your legs have carried you this far. They're not done yet.